Hello friends, we look at the first day's play of the iconic test match of any cricket calendar, the Boxing Day test match at the Melbourne cricket ground that saw a record crowd of 91,000 plus in attendance. You call it the arrogance of youth, you call it the audacity of youth. Well, that is how today's generation of cricketers are. Sam Konstas, test debutant at 19 years, who came in at the expense of Nathan McSweeney, showed what it was all about. Fearless batting, and to take on somebody of the caliber of Jasprit Bumrah, Sam Konstas has arrived into the test arena. 60 runs in his maiden innings for Australia in 65 balls. It was batting at its explosive best. Bumrah had not conceded a single six in test cricket for 4 years or so. But Sam Konstas changed everything. Jasprit Bumrah had not gone for 38 runs in a single spell until today, that is in test cricket. Sam Konstas, in Jasprit Bumrah's first spell of 6 overs, 38 runs and without any success, Konstas scored 34 of them. That included 4 fours and 2 sixes. And the 2 sixes were not traditional shots, but they were just ram shots behind the wicket, like they do in T20 more often. Sam Konstas and his 50 was the highlight of the opening day's play of this Boxing Day test match, in which Australia were thoroughly dominating until Jasprit Bumrah pulled back and got some respectability to the Indian bowling. Having won the toss and chosen to bat first, Australia were 311 for 6 in 86 overs at stumps on the first day. 4 half-centurions, none of them except perhaps Steve Smith, who is batting in on 68 in the company of Captain Pat Cummins. He has a chance to convert this start into 3 figures. 3 others, Sam Konstas, Usman Khawaja, who scored his first 50 in this series and the first after 11 innings, a test 50. Marnus Labuschagne scored his second 50 of the series, and Alex Carey, who is known to be the crisis man, got a start but fell for 31. So Australia 311 for 6, and India, Jasprit Bumrah taking the majority of the wickets, 3 of the 6 wickets to fall, and that shows how heavily dependent India are on Jasprit Bumrah. And if anybody has to take wickets, it has to be Jasprit Bumrah. So Sam Konstas was involved in, not for his fault, he has seen everything in test cricket on day 1 of his test career. Batting aggressively, unorthodox shots, playing the T20 way. He took on the Indian bowlers, especially Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj. In the 60 odd minutes that he was in the middle, he entertained the packed MCG crowd. What Konstas' innings allowed was that it allowed Usman Khawaja to come back to form and play the traditional way. Usman Khawaja has been under pressure. His place was slightly in doubt in the playing 11, but the Australian selectors continued with him, and he has reposed that faith, scoring a 50, whereas Sam Konstas justified the selection. Sam Konstas, you can keep on talking about him. He showed glimpses of that in the BBL. He showed what he was capable of in the 2-day practice match with the pink ball in Canberra when he scored 100, when all the other Prime Minister's 11 were falling. Sam Konstas has had a memorable first day of Test cricket. When Sam Konstas initially, the first over of the Test match, he was on strike to Jasprit Bumrah, was beaten outside the off stump. Bumrah unlucky not to get an edge. It was a maiden to start with. Then Sam Konstas in the second over of Bumrah scored his first runs in Test cricket with a 2 on the leg side. But then from the third over of Jasprit Bumrah, after Konstas decided that he has seen enough of Jasprit Bumrah and his bowling, just went after the bowling. He missed a couple of ramp shots, the reverse hit initially, but then when he connected, it sailed behind the wicketkeeper, twice sailing over the boundary, and in his 65 runs, he had scored 6 fours and 2 sixes. Sam Konstas was not just full of unorthodox shots. He could defend, and he has shown in the little first-class cricket, the Sheffield Shield cricket that he has played. He has shown that he could defend there, and he could also play some orthodox shots, and he could also leave the ball outside the off stump, and that was what was on display. Sam Konstas, he was first out when he was trying to defend, and the breakthrough was given by Ravindra Jadeja. Defensive, perhaps he must have continued the aggressive way and playing attacking shots. Maybe he defended, missed, and was out plumb leg before wicket for 65 runs. 65 runs out of the opening partnership of 89. Australia had some decent partnerships. They had a couple of 50 runs partnerships. Following the 89 for the opening wicket, Marnus Labuschagne and Usman Khawaja shared 65 for the second wicket, and for the third wicket between Labuschagne and Steve Smith, it was 83 runs. And there was a further 50 plus partnership for the sixth wicket, 63 to be precise, between Alex Carey and Steve Smith for the sixth wicket. There was a phase when after tea, the first drinks interval, on resumption, the first ball, Marnus Labuschagne was out. He had to be blamed himself when he stepped out and gave mid-off Virat Kohli easy, straightforward catch. It was the start of a phase where Australia lost 3 wickets for 9 runs, and that pulled India back into the game. Jasprit Bumrah picking 2 of those wickets. Among those 2 wickets, he clean bowled Travis Head. Well, Travis Head has been India's headache in this series, and overall, if you look at it, he has been a big headache for India. And today, Dr. Jasprit Bumrah had a big cure for that headache, and with his treatment, the ball shaping in castled him as the left-hander shouldered arms. Travis Head gone for naught, and soon after, Mitchell Marsh, who has been struggling for runs, he was dismissed, caught behind for just 4 runs. Jasprit Bumrah bowled in 5 spells today after that forgettable 6 overs, 38 runs, no wicket, in which Konstas went after the Indian new ball bowlers. He came back for very impressive, tidy spells, and that is what Bumrah is known for. His second spell read like this: 5 overs, 3 maidens, 5 runs, and no wicket. The third spell was 4 overs, 2 maidens, 7 runs and 1 wicket. The wicket of Usman Khwaja, who pulled Bumrah straight to the hands of KL Rahul at mid-wicket. The fourth spell was the most successful one, 3 overs, 14 runs and 2 wickets. The wickets of Travis Head for 0 and Mitchell Marsh for 4. The final spell of the day, the fifth, went for 11 runs from 3 overs. Jasprit Bumrah needs support from the other end. India surely are missing Mohammad Shami in this series, and before the test in Melbourne began, the BCCI announced that Mohammad Shami has been ruled out of the 4th and the 5th test matches. There were talks about him regaining fitness, bowling in the domestic cricket for Bengal in Vijay Hazare Trophy and the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy before that, but then, and also in the Ranji Trophy, but then he has developed another discomfort that needs to be monitored by the medical team, and his participation in the remainder of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy has been ruled out. So without Shami, India are clearly struggling as Jasprit Bumrah is not getting enough support. Akashdeep, yes, he has been unlucky a little bit. He also got the wicket initially, but Jasprit Bumrah needs somebody like Mohammad Shami. Mohammad Siraj has been bowling his heart out like he always does, but then he can also become erratic. So out of the 6 wickets, 3 for Bumrah, 1 to Akashdeep and 2 went to spinners, Jadeja and Washington Sundar taking a wicket apiece. So spinners on day 1 of the Melbourne Test match, which was initially helping the fast bowlers, but then Sam Konstas put it out of the equation. The spinners bowled a combined 26 overs on the day 1 and gave away 91 runs, picking up 2 wickets. So that's India slightly back into the game, but then it was Australia all the way dominating on the first day of this test match. So what does India have to do on the second day on Friday? Well, it's very simple. Take the remaining 4 wickets as early as possible and make the most of the fine batting conditions as we saw in the course of the first day. Put more runs on the board, outscore the Australians and try to make a match out of it in the remaining time. Jasprit Bumrah, he needs 3 more wickets for 200 wickets as he has 197 career test wickets from 44 test matches. And his average, which has been very, very impressive, falling under 20, and that's making him the world's leading bowler and perhaps one of the all-time greats once he retires. 3 wickets to 200. Jasprit Bumrah, it will all be on him to do the majority of the damage, and he must receive better support from the Indian other bowlers. Hopefully, India will bowl out Australia early and get on with the game. One interesting thing, India making one change, Washington Sundar coming in for Shubman Gill, so that makes that number 3 slot open, and we heard Rohit Sharma, the captain at the toss, say that he is going to bat higher up the order. Does it mean that he is going to bat at number 3? Well, that is what it looks like, because we won't be seeing the opening partnership, just Jaiswal and KL Rahul being disturbed. And I don't see KL Rahul batting at number 3, but only Rohit Sharma going up from number 6 from the previous 2 test matches to occupy Shubman Gill's vacant slot. Australia made 2 changes. They were forced to bring in Scott Boland, and deservingly so, in the place of injured Josh Hazlewood, and like we saw in the majority of this, Sam Konstas, debutant, coming in for the underperforming Nathan McSweeney. So that's it. Hopefully, India will come back strong in this game and make a game out of it. They have to win it if they have to retain the Border-Gavaskar Trophy and also not allow Australia to march ahead. And also, they are not out of contention for the World Test Championship final slot. Everything to play for, and it will all be in the first hour or so, and hopefully India are batting earlier than they should. They should be batting early if they have to make a match of it. So until tomorrow, thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.